Hello, all my wonderful friends. Today I want to do a little something special for everybody because the world needs clean air, fresh breath, and all that good stuff. See, here I have a bromelain oil, or you can use any kind of oil. I used to have other oils, juju oil, and those are my favorites. But what you want to do is anytime that you feel like smoking, ask yourself first if you really need it. Because if you want to quit, eventually you should want to, because it'll have power over you. You don't want something to have power over you. If it's not really hurting you if you take care of yourself. Don't let other people confuse you. Don't let your mind confuse you. But at the same time, it will have control over your mind when it comes to the point where you're like, I don't need to smoke. And then you want it. When you want it, it's like, maybe it does have a little bit of control over me. Do that little experiment. Do you need it? And if you can't go without thinking about it, then you have a problem. And here's something that can solve that. Okay, now I had to show you the bromelain oil ahead of time because you can dip a straw. Silly, just a straw. Something as simple as this. And I want you to try doing this. Take an actual hit, like a cig, Hold it for a second. Do it again. Really deep. Let it out like that. Do it 5 times. And you'll actually feel a difference when you do it with the straw than if you did it with a cigarette. Do it 25 times like you would with a cigarette. And you will feel an amazing, mind-blowing thing you never would have felt before because you would have had a cigarette in the way. And what I want to try to say in a very summed up version is, I have an old speech and an old talk that goes on for hours and hours and hours, but I want to sum it up and make it straight to the point. The reason people smoke, the reason people exercise, overly exercise, the reason people do yoga and breathing and things like that, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons is because it's one of our main connections with breathing. People that exercise, that's the way they get their breathing. A lot of them are outside, or else they breathe heavy. People who meditate, it's where they get closest to it without having to use anything to do it. Other people that stress out all the time and don't have a good breathing pattern, thinking pattern, and a lot of times people that don't smoke cigarettes but sometimes still have a stressful life and smoke weed and say that it helps them de-stress, that's because they and they hold on to the moment of their breath, this moment of your breath, until you do it so often it means nothing. Smoking weed, same thing. You don't get a tolerance. You just forget that it's about the breath, the holding of the breath, the consciousness of the moment. The exercise, it does help you, especially if you're focusing on your body, your shape, and your health while you're doing it. But if you're doing it going, I'm trying to get in shape, I'm trying to get in shape, you're remembering that. And you're just trying to get in shape. If you're doing it and you're like, yes, this is working, I feel it, I feel great, it happens. It's all mental stuff. This is a very breakthrough thing. It may look like some goober, but this is breakthrough, and this will save you. So next time you see somebody in a car smoking, and you've broke the habit, look over at them and pick up a straw and go, and if they seem like they get angered by it, if they notice it, put down your window or have your window down and say, try it. It's actually better for you, and it'll break your habit. Don't let other people know that. Actually, let everybody know that, so we can be healthy again. And you'll be glad you did it. You'll be so happy with yourself. Your mind will break free. Something that simple. You don't need hypnosis. You don't need class. You are the hypnosis. You are the student in the class who learns. You are it. You just have to learn how to own your own mind. And these little tricks, when you apply them, will work. Eat the apple. Take the apple. The application. Apply yourself. All right? Peace.
It may look silly, but I'd rather puff on a straw than a chemical stick.